Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 11 of the Collector's Corner. Patrick, it is officially March, and we are still doing good on our New Year's resolution. 2 episodes a month. Here we are.
That's right. We did it. We're on our first episode of March, which means we'll see y'all again third week of March, either live or pre-recorded, just kind of depending on the old work schedule. But shout out to Preston for going solo last week. I was out of town, or I don't remember why I couldn't make it. But
You were working overtime.
was I working overtime?
Yeah, you had some kind of firefighter classes and then
For
your
shame.
regular shift.
For shame.
You know, Patrick, it made me very appreciative. Love disc golf collecting, and it's way easier to talk about the news with someone else there. I understand why newscasts have 2 people. We zoomed through a lot of info last week.
Oh man, yeah, I saw it. It's only 20 minutes long, which probably isn't
we
a
were
bad
crunching.
thing.
We were crunching.
We tend to ramble sometimes.
We have a lot to talk about this week. So
A lot of stuff. I mean, it's early in 2024. Companies
Yeah.
are getting discs out. They're just pumping them out. Watch your wallets,
They
folks.
sure are, man. I ran out this week and last week, this month, this last February. There were so many releases where I was like, "Ooh, I would buy that." But
yeah.
I did not buy that. There are a
Nope.
couple releases that I did buy, and we'll look at a couple of those today. But there's just more and more where I'm like, ooh, I could pick one of those up. That'd be a lot of fun. You could easily have spent $250, I think, in February.
Easily, absolutely.
Without
Especially if
buying
you,
a duplicate of anything.
you could buy one of each of the discs that you wanted to buy and easily almost spend $300. Especially if you went to chess.com Invitational. Shout out AB for the win, first ever
Yeah,
Tour
dude.
Series win.
Let's freaking jump into it.
Anthony
That's
Barella.
the first one on our list. He's got a commemorative disc.
There it is. Look at
It
that.
looks sick. All of
Wow.
AB's discs. He's got a good aesthetic. I don't know how much input they get on their stamps, but they look great.
I like it a lot. No, not to throw shade at anyone involved in the planning process for the chess.com Invitational, but that stamp looks so much better than the chess.com Invitational trophy,
Oh yeah.
which if anybody didn't watch, sorry for the spoiler that AB won, but if you look at any pictures on Facebook, it's a chessboard, just a plain wooden chessboard.
Hey now. So I've listened to Brody complain about this issue, all right? And I've listened to some AB interviews. He is getting the chessboard is getting engraved, and it's coming with like a full custom chess set as well.
Okay.
So like it's getting all the pieces, and that way you could like display it in your home, and it would be nice, and won't just be like this flat cutting board. So
I like it.
It should turn out pretty decent, but yeah. The king and the queen, everyone's been talking about it on social media.
It should have been so much cooler. They couldn't. But anyways, back to great stamp. I like it. It looks good.
Great stamp.
Looks good.
Very cool.
Congrats, AB, on your first ever Tour Series win.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Patrick, I want to talk for just a second about this disc, right? So when you look at the collectability of anything, it seems like the older stuff, you can never match the collectability. Right? You look at Pokemon cards. What's the most valuable one? Right? First edition Charizards.
Sure.
You can still get some new ones that are worth $200, $300, $400, but they ain't worth $500,000, right?
No.
COVID obviously caused this massive spike for disc golf. The collector's market saw that. Paul Macbeth switching companies just at the right time with this big influx. The Four Claws are big money, right?
Big.
Sexton having established this kind of cool disc in a community, and then it blew up, and then everyone was like, whoa, we can't get those? Big, right?
Yep.
I think there are very few players left that have the ability to create a disc so collectible, right? It takes a special combination. You're not going to get another Paul Macbeth. I don't think you're getting someone who is dominant for 5 years.
Yeah, for such a long time.
Yeah, last season we saw unprecedented dominance out of Calvin Heimberg. Super cool, right? Super cool. That ain't going for another 4 years, right? He didn't have the wins like Macbeth had, but whatever, right? AB, this is his first win. Obviously, just won the distance comp too. He's super young. I think he's one of the 3 or 4 guys where I see some potential, kind of like when I picked up the Ganonburg rookie disc. This is one of those discs that for me, it's a buy. You buy it, you stick it on a shelf, and you just see if AB does something incredible. That's it. That's my whole spiel.
I agree. I think we have yet to see Anthony Barella's full potential. I don't really see him peaking for. I mean, maybe this is his like. Obviously, he's been kind of on the radar for a while, ever since like the long hair, the mane, the Prince of Jomez, as he was once hailed. But that wasn't it. We haven't seen him really get out there. So I hate to call it a breakout season because we've seen him before. I mean, he's been on everybody's radar, but the first big tournament of the year and his first Pro Tour win, that's huge. So maybe that's his only win of the season, and that's okay. We just need a slow emergence, but maybe, I don't know. You heard it here first. AB's the next Macbeth.
Whoa.
I don't know. I'm just saying. If it happens, I want to be the first one to say it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying if it does, it was me. I said it.
Because like we've seen. Well, let's flush it out, right? If we're gonna be making claims like that, let's look at the field. People that have huge collectability, right? Simon can pump out some really cool discs.
Yeah,
he's got his own line now, which I think kind of puts him poised to do some really neat things. I don't know that.
Wait, hold on. Time out. This has nothing to do with disc golf.
Okay.
I just realized I think we're wearing the same shirt.
I wore this one last week too. It just so happened to. Hey, well, Patrick and I commentate at a combat robotics event once a year, which is coming up. Patrick, they just set the date. It's on the 16th. So if you're interested in coming back down and commentating,
did not plan that. Shout out Texas A&M Robotics, Combat Robots. We do commentate for.
It's a lot of fun. Go check it out.
Texas A&M Combat Robotics.
That was the Fall Frenzy and the Spring Showdown. It's a lot of fun. Anywho, I got real sidetracked, but I was just saying, like, Simon's got big sellability for discs, but frankly, I don't know if he's gonna have super collectible discs at the new company. Like because it doesn't benefit him.
Yeah, they haven't. I don't think they've made that disc for him yet. Like Macbeth has the Luna. For some reason, everybody just grabbed that. It's huge. Every time a new Luna comes out, they're super collectible.
Yeah.
Simon or Sexton has the Firebirds. You know, I don't think we've seen Simon's collector disc come out. The time lapse is big. That was MVP's first 12-speed disc.
That was big.
Maybe it's the time lapse and we just haven't seen it yet. I think they may have super saturated the market really early on with so many releases. There's 4 different discs that says limited edition time lapse on it.
Yeah, I think there's like 7 different runs
those out, it would have been a lot better.
Right, they've got to be the same run. It's just different stamps.
It's the same disc. It's just a different stamp. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they made that mistake because maybe the time lapse is Simon's Luna. It's his Firebird. I don't know. It had a lot of potential being the first 12-speed disc. But so then the Pixel was released. Maybe we just haven't seen the one that everybody's like, okay, that is Simon's disc. I think it should have been the time lapse personally. There were so many other things going on with the time lapse. It could have been it, but I'm already tired of talking about it because there's so many of them out there in the market now.
Yeah. So let's talk just real briefly while we're talking about the Luna and kind of Simon. I want to stick on this for a minute, but AB also got this cool collab. Paul did like a collab with different members of the Discraft team, which I think is neat. It's a really cool way to incorporate like the team aspect of a disc golf team. And also I think this was a little, I don't know. It's great that AB came out with a win. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
This was
first one of the season.
Putting some more eggs in AB's basket. Like you said, the Luna always sells. This is every time. It's a very collectible. Like this is if you want to collab with Paul Macbeth on a disc, you want it to be this.
Yeah, I don't know how AB, he must have drawn the lucky straw or won rock, paper, scissors, but he lands the Luna with Macbeth. That was big.
Big hype.
For sure.
All right, so I 1000% agree with you that the time lapse kind of had the opportunity to be the Luna, but I think both companies kind of played a hand very logically. So collectability, often in the disc golf collectors market, people will say, well, the manufacturer doesn't make any more money, right? And to a degree with certain discs, that's true. So the 2015 Sexton is never going to make Nate Sexton another $1, right?
Yeah, they're sold. They're
I mean,
done.
he could
Yeah.
sell his, but like they're not making money off that. But very similar to the Luna, anytime a Sexton disc drops, they all sell.
That's true.
Every
That's
single
true.
one.
Every year
Every
they
single
drop
one.
the 2023 Sexton, the 2024, all of the rest of them. People are posting, oh, I got this bunch of 18s. Here's a bunch of 19s.
Yep.
They all sell again. They
Yep.
exchange hands.
Well,
Every
and
single
you
one.
can reliably every year you can sell out of that disc. You can make as many as you want. You can sell out. People will be upset that you made so many 2022 Sexton Firebirds, but they'll buy them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah.
the flip, what Simon did with the time lapse, Simon moves plastic. Simon knows that he'll move plastic. So he just said, everybody that wants a time lapse gets a time lapse. You want a cool looking one, you get a cool looking one. Pros of this approach: there's a ton of money up front, which is awesome. There's also like really widespread adoption availability, right? Like you don't have any qualms about throwing a time lapse.
No, nobody cares.
If you
Just
get
throw
that
'em.
first drop of Sextons, you don't throw it yet because you want to see how many more drops there's going to be. By the time the third drop of 2024's hits, okay, sure, stick a couple in your bag, see how they throw, whatever. So I don't know. I think it's very interesting. And then kind of the last thing I want to talk about, because I think you've drawn a beautiful comparison. I've started doing research for a Luna episode, trying to figure out what makes the Luna so special. And I think it does have a lot of ties to the time lapse, where it's one of Paul Macbeth's, if not his first, like the starter of his line. It was actually approved by the PDGA on the same date as the Zeus, but the Zeus was just a remake of a mold that already existed. The Zeus wasn't actually a new mold.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So and it's not even the Destroyer like you're thinking. It was actually just a remold of a Discraft mold. But so the Luna was like his first pure, hey, look, it's here. And then paired with that, Paul was throwing it, which is kind of rare. We're going to talk about Tour Series discs a little bit, but not, a lot of the pros don't throw a lot of the discs that they have their stamps on.
That's true.
They just like they don't need them. The discs that the masses need, it's not the discs that the pros need. But Paul Macbeth could take this Luna and throw it 450 feet, and you're like, that's crazy, and you could buy one. So I do think there's a lot of equivalency there, where it's a new company, first disc of a line, and it's something very new for that company. So I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'm doing research on the Luna. I think it was a special recipe. I think the time lapse had that opportunity. 1000% agree with you.
Do you think they missed it, or do you think it could come back and still have the weight?
I think they hit it differently. I don't think it has the opportunity to do what the Luna did. I don't think it will be a disc where anytime he does a time lapse drop, it sells. But I think instead it will hit as like a classic of the line, of the brand. Like everyone has one.
Yeah, we might have to ask Chris Kearns to come back on. He was in one of our early editions, and he's a huge collector of the Luna. And we really just need to pick his brain on what gives the Luna the level of collectability that it has. Because I understand that it has it. I'm not a huge collector of the Luna, so I don't know why. Like, I don't know why the Kool-Aid is the flavor of Luna, but it is. Well, I mean, every drop of Luna is big. It's always the first one to sell out. So like Macbeth just did that TI release. They just did the titanium release a little while ago. They dropped them all. His whole line dropped in this titanium plastic. Luna's Onyx, the Malta, the Zeus, the Athena, they all dropped at the same time. The Luna sold out in like 6 minutes, and then you could buy the rest of them for months after that. And then Preston got one, I guess, in the second. Look at that! Look how pearly it is.
This one's so pearly. It's such a pretty disc, and camera
so
doesn't do it justice. Okay, so what I wanted to, 1000% agree with you. This second drop is wild. So I guess we're talking about it today. I guess today's real topic is the drop strategy of companies. So let's. They have now kind of adopted. We've seen Sexton just kind of keep increasing the number of discs, and part of it really might just be companies saying, "Hey, with this limited release, if we make too many of them, we might end up with a warehouse full of them." Right?
Yeah.
And so we've seen Sexton produce more and more and more each year. We still haven't hit that point of saturation. Like if you go and try to buy 2023 Sextons from the Innova factory store, I don't think you can, right? Um, but these TI Lunas, you sure still can. You could go right now to Team Discraft. I've got it pulled up. You can buy them. And most of the color stamp combos are sold out. But you can still purchase some color stamp combos of the TI Luna. They have hit that saturation point where their collector's market is saturated. I think this is one of the first like special Luna drops where that kind of happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I'm saying about the time lapse as well. So I think it's
Okay.
I think it's an interesting discussion to have where we say which one is better,
Yeah.
because now is the Luna collector's market, are they a little bit more hesitant on the next drop? Because when the first TI Luna went, like you said, sold out in 6 minutes.
Go on.
People
So
were
fast.
buying stacks. What maybe casual collectors don't understand is that when the Sextons drop, when the Lunas drop, when the 4 claw, 5 claw, 6 claws drops, you're not buying 20 of them to scalp. In fact, the resale market on these discs is usually quite kind. The week after Sextons, you can probably get one on the Sexton page for MSRP. People are stamp hunting. There are certain stamps, there are certain swirls with the Sextons. There is a certain amount of pink that will make it very, very valuable. And they're hunting. So they'll buy 25, right? If you keep inflating the volume that's available, I think you start to scare off your people that will buy 5 thinking, oh, it will be okay, or 25, it will be okay. I can resell the other 20 at MSRP, get my money back. Not trying to scalp, but just trying to hunt for the one I really want.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they buy 25, now they have, hundreds of dollars worth of discs, and suddenly they're still up and available. So now they have to sell at least at a loss. Right?
Most likely at a loss. Yeah.
So that's the only downside I can see for the manufacturer of starting to hit this saturation point is maybe those whales that are buying 20, 30, 40, 50 of these, buying boxes. You can still, they end up like unopened booster packs of playing cards. You can buy right now on the Sexton page, you could go and find a box of 2021s unopened.
Yeah.
Because you could still stamp hunt.
They don't even open them. They're like, yeah, here's a box of 5. I got a box of 5 2023s. Yeah.
Yep. You might be looking for the cut grass stamp, to finish that collection, or the single rainbow or whatever, right? There's different stamps for different discs that are crazy valuable. The matte claws, if you have a disc that has matte white or matte black claws, depending on the plastic combo, way more valuable.
So here's another point that we're skipping around our schedule here, but Prodigy has recently released they're going to release a new plastic. Discraft put a lot of effort into releasing their 2024 tour series in this really popular Jawbreaker Z-Flex plastic that's become really popular. The problem that I'm thinking is going to happen is these, like the Fractal, the Jawbreaker Z-Flex, there's the Fractal. They're so unique and individualistic. We're going to start to see a much wider variability in value of discs, because it's not going to be so much about, oh, I have a TI Luna, I can sell it for a higher value. No, it's going to be, did I get the nicest looking Jawbreaker Z-Flex tour series disc, or did I get kind of one that doesn't have a lot of the Jawbreaker flex, or it's, I got the right color, but it's not as saturated as I want, so it's not going to sell high. Because you can get those, when they first did the Jawbreaker Z-Flex with the Luna, you could buy them at MSRP because it didn't look great, or you'd spend $150 on one because it had an extra amount of Jawbreaker flex in there and it just looked really nice. So part of the collector's market is going to be, oh, I have, this disc, I have a 2024 Tour Series, whatever. And people are like, oh, that's a great disc, I really want that. But it's also going to be the same disc we're going to see sell at MSRP, maybe less, but then other ones from the same drop are going to be so crazy expensive just because the plastic looks a certain way. And it's going to be so hard to track. It's going to be so hard to guess. So I think we're going to see more people just start buying up masses. And instead of stamp hunting, they're going to be plastic hunting, where it's just like, I want that specific swirl pattern. I want this specific fractal pattern. I want this specific Jawbreaker Z Flex pattern. And then they'll try and sell the rest of them. And I think they're going to be disappointed with how low they might, like you said, take a loss on the rest of them because people only want certain ones and they're still going to be available on the website. So
maybe this is a good time to plug your local disc golf shop.
Yes.
You can go into your local disc golf shop on the day and you can look at the one you're getting before you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You can also buy online, right? Like I understand it's when I bought that Zone OS and I got a beef one in the mail and just random, it was still to this day my favorite collector's disc golf moment. So like I get it. But
I did the opposite of that. But funny you should mention that. So we got those. For those of you who don't know, the Zone OS they released a certain number of them that instead of the flight numbers in the flight number squares, it said beef, BEEF. Really cool, really fun kind of little thing they did. They just kind of did it. Preston got one randomly. He bought a Zone OS from the Discraft website and got it, and it said beef, and that was like that's a huge pull. I mean, that's crazy. Pull. Those were selling triple the value, even more. I went to my local shop and he had two, and he sells them all. Everything he gets, he sells an MSRP. He just runs a pro shop and he's like, I don't care, because he's in the business of quantity. And so I'm like, give me both of those. So I got two, and that's all that I bought of the Zone OSs, and I got two beefs. So again, like Preston said, guys, patronize your local places, especially in cases like this. If you don't want to end up buying 50 discs just to plastic hunt or stamp hunt, it also helps the local guys. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out for sure. All right, we got to keep going or we're going to be here forever. There's so much to talk about. Discmania did a 10-year anniversary drop this last week.
Way to choose the worst picture you could find.
They literally only put 2 pictures. I'm so glad you said that because I was going to try to find my way to that talking point. I hate the way that this looks with this background. Did we lose you? Are you still there?
What is happening?
I don't know. I can hear you.
What is happening?
We can still hear you. Your video's frozen. So now the question is, does the disc picture look worse or Patrick's frozen blurry face? I don't know. It's a tricky one for sure. Oh, there he goes. Anywho, let me know in the comments if you think I'm way off base, if you think this looks amazing. Maybe you're a big fan. If they could have done a collab with Dune. Can you imagine this disc as a Dune 2 promo collab? Would have been freaking awesome. Would have absolutely loved that because, it looks like sand. So, would have been a neat way for them to promo that.
Better picture.
There we go. I think we just got you back. So, whatever you were saying.
Oh, sorry. I was still giving you a hard time about choosing the worst Discmania picture. I swear I saw a different one somewhere, but nope, man. The one I saw has the rainbow stamp, same plastic.
Yeah,
though.
This was their picture. When I went to the link, this was the picture. I was just saying this would have made a sick Dune promo collab.
Oh, they totally could have done a Dune collab. Oh man, I do like the swirl 10-year anniversary golden swirl S line. I like it. It looks good.
Doesn't look
like the
gold.
sword. I like the sword. Somebody was asking the last week or last 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago. Does any of the discs have a sword? There you go.
Boom.
There's one right there.
Just for them.
Discmania.com, Discmania Golden Swirl S line. They're available right now for $23.99. Go get you a sword.
There we go. I did want to say things that I thought were neat about this. They sent an email, if you're on their email list, an hour before it dropped and just said, hey, this drops in an hour. That was cool.
Nice.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And it had a countdown going, which I think it's nice. I don't need these to be surprises. I don't need to have to check like the player's individual Instagram and then the website's Instagram and then like the Facebook group and like just it's nice. Shoot everyone that's subscribed to that email.
Just tell me,
give
I'll
us
buy
a
one.
shot. So I liked that. We've talked ad nauseum about the test flight Kratos, and now the Proto Kratos is out. In my personal opinion, I think the
Cool.
Proto stamp is way cooler than the test flight stamp for Macbeth's line. I love test flight collections. Like if you have one of each of the Proto collections. If you have one of
Proto.
each of the Protos, it's just sick.
Yeah.
The big bar stamp, it's super cool. So
I like it a lot.
yep.
I like that they're keeping it the same. They're uniform.
Exactly. It makes a real nice wall display.
Yep.
He's really cognizant of that. If you want a big display, you can go with Paul Macbeth's discs. They're gonna go well together. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And then on the Discraft, oh, it's tiny. On that topic of the Discraft is the the drive. Excuse me.
The drive.
Okay.
So the drive is Paige Pierce's new driver. It was available at the chess.com invitational if anyone was there and picked one up. It's supposedly an understable to stable control driver, similar to the Surge SS is what I'm hearing. So flight number is 11.5 -22. Very neutral, very stable flight.
I like that. Kind of like a MVP wave.
MVP
I think
wave.
that's the same numbers. Yeah.
I've heard like a more overstable Scorch if anyone is strictly Discraft. But there's the Protos coming out soon, or there's the test flights.
All right, you ready for my hot take here?
Yeah.
Terrible name.
The drive.
Yeah, Google it. Try to find
Oh no, I've Googled. I've tried.
Just put in Paige Pierce drive.
I've tried. Paige Pierce drive. It doesn't come up.
It's YouTube videos of her driving and lessons on how to drive a disc golf disc.
But number one is Paige Pierce crushes 450. It's from 6 years ago.
Exactly. I understand that they're going with a theme, right? They have the passion and the fierce and the drive. It's like her personality traits that make her a good disc golfer. That's cool. Yeah. Cool. It's her competitive attributes. Love it. You can't do this. This is anti-Taylor Swift. Have I told you my Taylor Swift theory?
No. What's the Taylor Swift
I'm going to
theory?
do 20 seconds.
Okay.
Taylor Swift really is the mastermind. No pun intended. That's the name of one of her songs, which is what I'm getting at. She names her songs according to things that people will Google at the time. So when Avengers Endgame was coming out, she put out a song called Endgame.
No way.
So if you Googled Endgame, you would find Taylor Swift. When she was much smaller as an artist, she put out a song called Tim McGraw. If you were Googling country music, you ended up on Taylor Swift. There's like 5 or 6 examples. I'm already past my 20 seconds. And she has this excellent marketing idea where like she just makes her songs line up with things people are Googling. They end up there. Boom. It's great. This is the opposite. If you try to find this disc on purpose, you still don't find it.
Yeah, I do understand the process of like deciding on the name. I get it. They're trying to do a set. I don't know what the next one is going to be, but the drive, they're going to have to put in some effort for that to come up early in a Google search. Yeah.
And you kind of don't even want it to. Like she probably also sells courses and like wants her how to throw a drive videos to also do well. So now she's competing against herself, right? It's not great. Okay, let me give a little bit of a Sexton update. This week I found 2015s for $550.
Okay.
A pretty cheap 2015. And 2016s for $200, which is actually, that was like the cheapest one I could find, and that's pretty pricey for 2016s. That's up there.
Yeah,
that's good numbers.
It's good.
Also notably for the Sextons, this would have been the week we saw LVCs. The Las Vegas
no!
No LVCs, no LVCs.
For shame.
Yep. But here's my
my
hypothesis. Last year we got April Fool's Sextons.
Ooh.
They got time now.
I would love a 24 April Fool's Sexton.
2024 April Fool's Sextons. I'm calling it exactly a month from now.
You think it's going to be the same thing where he draws one? And
I have no idea. I would love if I was his marketing manager, I would have him draw an LVC logo and like just kind of troll on the fact that LVC is no longer on the Pro Tour and it's April Fool's, and you're like, April Fool's, it's not LVC. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right, Patrick, I have a little bit of a bummer. I did order some discs this last month, as I alluded to previously. Kind of ran myself out of spending money.
Oh no.
And one of the discs came back. I already showed you pictures of it, but
Oh no.
I ordered this Pixel, and you can even see it even in the crappy camera. I have not thrown this. I have not stored it. It was bubble wrapped in a box. This thing got just absolutely beat up in the factory. Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't think you could sell this in a Facebook group as new unthrown.
No, there's no way.
Like, I would be livid if someone sent this to me and was like, it's unthrown.
It's unthrown, I promise.
Just factory. 9.5 out of 10. Nothing's perfect. I don't use DDGA to grade my discs, so I have no idea how good it is. Like,
so, okay, just to be devil's advocate, in MVP's defense,
you talk about
that plastic is super scratchable,
Yep.
and it's black, which means it's going to show up right away.
100%.
I don't know how they could have avoided that. You know, they printed it out, they threw it on top of the pile of other pixels, and then you ordered it and they put it in a box. No bubble wrap, did you say, or was?
The top one.
So because you got two.
Whatever disc was on top. So in this case, I got one of the special edition pixels.
Oh, that's
cool.
Cool.
Whatever disc was on top came wrapped, so that way the stamp didn't rub on the box, and then everybody else. Yeah, that's just kind of how everybody's sending their discs nowadays.
Yeah.
No, I 100% understand. This is a scuffy plastic, and it's black. To be clear, I am not. I'm not angry at the distributor I bought it from, but it does really highlight one of the missions of the DDGA, which is to help differentiate between factory new unthrown. Depending on the disc, depending on the plastic, depending on the factory, depending on your mailman, depending on the temperature that you live in, the disc is going to show up at your door so different than someone else's.
Yeah.
So, something that Patrick, I didn't give you any heads up. I've seen on the Facebook group, so I got some.
Wow, you got some good ones, man. Look at that.
This envy is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got the fire stamp. It's like a red shatter on where the flaming wings are, if you can see that, which is just perfect for a Phoenix.
That's really cool. That looks good.
Hey, Amelia, thanks for joining. Jacob,
hello.
We really appreciate you always being here. This one's also super cool. It's super translucent straight on, but then it becomes like
but it's like a red. Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. But the thing I wanted to ask is there were some people in the Facebook group selling these at two very different price points based on if they were the Rebirth variant or not. And someone in the comments said, "What's the Rebirth variant?" And the guy said, "Look at the difference in the stamps." And he posted a picture of the disc. I should have pulled both the pictures. But basically, I sat there and had a very unironic Pam Beasley from The Office. Said, they're the same picture.
It's the same picture.
Like I went back and forth. I couldn't put them next to each other because it wasn't the comment, so I had to close the comments to see the other one.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure it out. So chat, if you know,
you still couldn't figure it out, huh?
Throw in our comments. I haven't put too much time into it yet. I haven't pulled out I haven't gone through the DGGA process. Okay, I haven't looked at this thing under a literal microscope, but I did want to ask the community if anyone knows what the heck it's called the Rebirth Eagle Envy. I don't understand. Is there a misprint? Is there a special variant? Is this a Gannon Burr funny stamp misprint moment?
I remember that one. That was funny.
What is this?
A quick Google search is not yielding any results.
Yeah, I mean, that guy totally could have just been...
No, I did see something else about the Rebirth variant. That's not the first time I've heard it. So it must be real. It must exist. I just have no idea what it is.
Yeah. We'll do a little look, and maybe we'll 2 weeks from now we'll come back and check into it. Patrick, you got any other market stuff from the week? I know there's a couple things, but...
I don't think so. I think it's time for Disc Wars.
Chat, thank you guys so much for being here. Jacob and Amelia, really appreciate it. If y'all will DM the DGGA on Instagram, we try to do a disc giveaway. Patrick, I did score a lot of discs in February, so I am more than happy if we can send those two one disc each. We'll
Hey,
just ship
let's
it to them for free
go.
as a thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Please
being in the
remember you can use
chat.
hashtag #dopestdisc on Instagram or Facebook to win a free disc. But since we haven't received any applications for those free discs in a while, I've got a stack of discs that were going to be prizes for those, so we'll ship them on your way. So go ahead and on Instagram, just DM the Disc Golf Grading Authority on there. You'll be able to find it, and so we can get your information to get that disc shipped on over to you. So that'll be our.
We're
now,
gifting discs to 100% of the chat.
Boom, Patrick.
So,
how is everyone not watching our podcast? 100%
sorry you
of
missed
the chat
it. You weren't
is
here.
getting free plastic.
Free plastic.
Absolutely wild.
Oh man.
All right, Disc Wars. I already have mine. I pulled it already. I'm prepped.
Oh, I'm ready. I have mine right here.
Chat, if you are new, maybe you haven't seen the show before, let me tell you a little bit about how the disc fight works. Patrick and I are each going to find a disc from our collection. We're both avid disc golf collectors, in addition to co-founders of the Disc Golf Grading Authority.
Woo.
And so we like to have a little competition to try to see who's got the cooler disc. Maybe it's more memorable, maybe it's prettier, maybe it's more valuable, maybe it's like a bigger staple of the collecting community. Patrick, you want to go first or second today?
I will go first today. So I am a pretty big collector of vintage Innova destroyers.
Ooh, you went vintage. I also went vintage today. What do you got?
I have an excellent specimen. So if anybody doesn't know about the PFN run from Innova, PFN means pre-flight number. It means that the disc doesn't have the flight numbers. And I have a very clean PFN destroyer. Trying to get that. My webcam is going to be improved by the next video, I promise. The only thing it has on the back, I'm going to cover up this guy, inked around the center. So
okay.
That's it. That's all the ink.
Actually, don't
it's
hate
very
that.
minimal.
Like,
I don't hate it either.
It's bad,
it perhaps has been thrown maybe once, maybe twice. But other than that, there's no rim damage. It would probably score like a 6.5 or 7 if we graded it, because it does have some scratches. But other than that, super clean. A very great example of a PFN destroyer, which I love. I have quite a few old destroyers, AJ2 lines, 3 lines, and then quite a few PFNs, and that's definitely the cleanest one.
Yep.
So,
all right.
What you got?
So I have another kind of gem of an older disc. This is a Discmania BD2.
Oh,
now,
okay.
You will notice it says originals above the Discmania logo. Mm-hmm. You can still get BD2s that say originals, like over here or down here. But this is one of the Innova made still. So you can see up here, Innova Champion discs.
Yeah.
So very similar to Patrick's vintage disc. These are the older runs. If you're not super familiar, Discmania used to be manufactured by Innova. Then it switched. They no longer were using Innova molds. They were no longer being manufactured by Innova. And so they started manufacturing their own discs. There's still some holdover, right? So like the C line is Champion plastic, and the S line is Star plastic, and these kinds of things where there's still some holdover. But everyone that throws Discmania swears by the Innova Discmania. These are money. Kind of like the PFN destroyers are supposedly much better than the modern destroyers.
They're way better. Yeah, they're way better.
Everyone, when Gannon swapped, a lot of the podcasts were talking about what a faux pas it was from Discmania to not force him to only throw new Discmania, because the first thing he did was went and buy a huge collection of old Discmania.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. So that way he could stock his bag with the good stuff. So
yeah.
This is just really neat. The stamp's obviously in great condition for being a thrown older disc. There's no ink, which is awesome. So it's a neat one. I don't collect a ton of Discmania, but I saw this one and I said, hey, that's old enough, and looked on the back, and sure enough, did some Googles. Right now they're going on eBay for like $50 or so. So nothing insane, but Just a neat little piece. Doesn't
I
feel
like it.
long ago, right, Patrick? I mean, we were playing disc golf when they split. And I just forget we've been playing disc golf for a while now.
Quite a long time. Yeah, it's probably been
that.
12,
yeah, it's
12
been
13
like 10 or
years
12
now.
years since Discmania split. And but because I remember talking about it with you on a disc golf course, I'm like, oh, it can't have been that long ago. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh no, it was.
Decades now.
Oh boy.
Very cool. Chat, let us know what you think. I mean, yours is in better condition.
It is. This one's tough just because we collect different things.
Hear me out. Yeah, we do collect different things. I was about to say, I have a PFN Destroyer I can pull off a shelf. You got any Innova made Discmania you can pull off a shelf?
I do.
Oh, snap. Let's see it.
I have that right. Macbeth.
Go get it. Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is. It is. It's in the disc golf. I'll be back in. It'll take 1 minute. I'll be right back.
All right. Goodness gracious. Chat, what do you collect? What discs do y'all collect that maybe you think we don't have? So right now I'm trying to call Patrick's bluff. I really didn't think he'd have old Discmania. Neither Patrick nor I really ever bagged a lot of Discmania. I bag some Prodigy, I bag some MVP, I bag some Discraft, I bag some Innova, but I don't really bag a lot of Discmania, and so a lot of our collection started by what we throw, like a lot of disc golfers. So let me know in the comments if there's a disc that you're pretty confident we wouldn't have. Something similar, right? Like obviously there's so many discs. If you name a single disc, if you're like, I bet you don't have a 4-claw matte white claws with the red shattered letters on a purple disc, probably not. But we've got a pretty wide variety. Thought I'd get Patrick on this one. Let me find my where is my PFN? I think I showed it off like a week or two ago in Disc Fight. It matches. I have a PFN Firebird that it matches really, really well. It's not on the wall. Oh, here he comes. Let's see what he's got. What do you got, Patrick?
Okay. This was one of our, we graded this as like a test grade.
Oh, heck yeah.
But I have a Paul Macbeth 4-time PDX.
Oh, nice. Ooh, in our standard packaging?
In the DGGA standard packaging.
Dude, that's sick.
There it is.
That's sick.
Yep, says, let's see. Innova Champion Discs, Inc., Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's unthrown. It's actually super nice. It's got like this really nice blue marbling in the plastic. Exclusive edition.
All right. You can take the dub.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I was just challenging chat to see if anyone that watches this later could throw a disc in the comments, like a type of disc, not a specific like plastic stamp combo, but like a type of collectible disc that they think that between the two of us we don't have one of.
We've got a pretty extensive collections. Preston asked, was that in the shed? It does sound like I just keep my discs out in a little shed, which technically it is a shed, but it is now my disc golf micro shop. It's fully insulated and it looks nice. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you should check it out. Posted many a video.
All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. Definitely Patrick is back. A nice long episode today. So much to talk about, so much to cover. We're going to start our item-specific episodes soon. Let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. I think probably next week we'll start talking about getting into the nitty-gritty of specific discs and specific details. So